Hey guys, welcome back to Deep Recruiting. This is Jim Bright, your host. Been doing this for over 30 years. We're going to talk today about when a candidate is reluctant to consider going contract. Now, I want to be very specific. Your job is not to get somebody to do something that they really shouldn't be doing. Your job is to make sure people are making good decisions using complete information. Now, a lot of people don't really understand what contracting is, makes them nervous. Hey, I'm in a full-time gig. I'm not going to leave this full-time gig for the uncertainty of a contract. And it's a reasonable fear. And it's something you need to take very, very seriously. So how do we manage that? The way we manage that is we want to ask them first, what are your concerns about contract? You might get all kinds of responses. Well, I need the health benefits. My spouse is concerned. I've got little kids. I need to make sure they're taken care of. I'm into debt up to my eyeballs. I need to make sure that I've got a steady income to pay all this stuff off. I'm, living right at the edge of my means. I need to make sure I'm making money all the time. I can't afford to be unemployed, whatever the reason is. When you really break it down, it's about fear. And so what I like to do is share with them that there's no such thing as a permanent job. And I'm using permanent in the context of being a W-2 employee, a regular employee of my client versus a contract where they're on my W-2. Since permanent is sort of in this legal nebulous framework, full-time isn't really an accurate description either. We'll stick with permanent. So in their mind, permanent really actually is that. It's going to be permanent unless they quit or they get fired. Your job is to let them know that there are other options out there. The company could go out of business. The company could have a layoff. There really is no such thing as a permanent job. And you need to make sure that your prospect, your candidate, understands that there really is no such thing as a permanent job. One of the examples I like to use is Transamerica. Transamerica used to have a standing policy. They would not do layoffs, and they stuck by that policy for a very long time until they needed to. When they needed to do layoffs, they just changed the policy. So there's no such thing as job security no matter where you work. It's not the company that provides job security to anybody. It's the individual themselves that provides job security. Job security comes in the form of their network and the value they bring to the table. That's it. I have had a contractor at a Fortune 2000 company that had hundreds upon hundreds of contractors. And twice while my contractor was working there, all the contractors were let go. All of them, except for my guy. This happened twice. He actually received special dispensation. Why? Because the value he provided far exceeded any cost savings they would have received had they cut him as a contractor. So again, job security came from the value he brought to the table. It didn't come from his employer. It didn't come from his contracting agency. It came from the value he brought to the table. It also came from the network he created because he was networking around inside that organization, around inside that company to make sure everybody knew the value he brought to the table. And so when the layoffs came, nobody wanted him to go. That's job security. He was on this contract for over 7 years, and none of his contract extensions were longer than 3 months. Now, that's more job security than most permanent jobs actually can offer anybody. So you want to remind your candidate that if you're well qualified, if you're good at what you do, you don't have anything to worry about. If you're good at what you do, my client generally converts you to full-time after this period of time. If you're mediocre, if you're average, if you're below average, you're right. You're not going to last. And that contract will end and you're going to find yourself looking for a new job. Now, nobody's ever going to admit, yeah, I'm the guy who's really average and I'm the guy who's going to be let go. No one's going to admit to that. So you're establishing the stage where they need to think of themselves, and they do think of themselves as being exceptional. And frankly, you want to make sure that your candidate is exceptional. You should only be working with the top people in the market. You shouldn't be working with the bottom 80%. 80%. You should only be working with the top 20%. So when you get the candidate to admit this, you're simply reinforcing the fact of what you should already know. This is a top tier quality candidate. They have nothing to fear, because even if the company goes down in flames, even if everything burns to the ground, they're good enough that they're going to get a job. You only represent people in this business that are good enough to never be unemployed. They're always in demand. Those are the people you should always be looking for. And you need to communicate that to your consultant. Doing these kinds of things eliminates that fear, makes them feel a lot more comfortable. Again, you don't want to pressure. You don't want to push. You just want to be asking them questions. You just want to be walking them through these basic scenarios. Walk them through the Transamerica story. Walk them through what it means to have true job security, what job security really looks like. Do it in your own style. Do it conversationally. Put some humor in there. No pressure, just a conversation where you're coaching them through so that they can make an intelligent decision that is right for them, their family, and frankly, for you. Because you don't want to place somebody in that job who's a nervous Nelly and is going to quit because a full-time offer comes down the line. You want them to be happy and excited that they're in a contract working under you. And all of your efforts should be geared towards that. Don't ever place somebody into a role they don't want. It's not good for you. It's not good for the person. It's not good for your client. And it's certainly not good for the agency. So this has been Bright Bob's real simple, easy, quick lesson for another Wednesday afternoon. I hope it's something useful. If you've got questions about this, if you want to do any follow-up, email me, deeprecruiting@teamgtn.com. I'd love to hear from you. If you've got a question, if you've got an issue you'd love to have me address, email me again, deeprecruiting@teamgtn. That email address is below in the description. Give us a comment. Your comments on this podcast, helps us grow this to a larger and wider audience. I want everybody to become a professional recruiter to make sure everybody sees us as a profession that they want to have in their life. This has been Deep Recruiting. We come at you every Wednesday, 4:10 p.m. Give us that comment, like, and share below. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a great week, everybody, and go sell something, would you? Take care. Bye-bye.